I have spent some time in other islands around this area, and I thought it would be quite similar. To be honest, there's certain similarities with the other islands, but there's a couple of things that are different. First is the time that I'm spending in the place is not just half a day when you get off a cruise, get back to the cruise. This time is actually a week, and I know it's really still not a lot of time, but it gives me a little bit of a better perspective in terms of how things work around here. And while it's expensive, and this is a place that I probably never would have come myself, it's a place that I managed to discover and learn about just because of the fact that I have a friend here. And so, people are kind, the language Papiamento is fun, and it really brings me back to the idea that I've thought every single time that I go to a new country, and that is not all countries are created equal. So with that in mind, I want to share some of the lessons that I've had during my week this time in Curaçao in regards to, let's say, culture, language, business, and also being a nomad. So the top 3 industries that seem to be driving the GDP in this country are mostly tourism, oil, which is refining and bunkering, and also offshore finance. And I'll mention in just a bit how these 3 industries impact the entire country. So obviously, being an island, the speed of life is truly slow. And it's quite hard for the locals to get by when the tourism is so high, people coming in every day, and it's pretty much one of the things that they rely on most. As I was having a conversation with my friend about this, I really realized it's quite interesting to put it in a way where it's almost like buying a subscription for your life. So instead of having people or allowing people to pay for their yearly subscription because they have, let's say, large chunks of money, they actually just buy their day-to-day, not even monthly subscription, but actually their daily subscription. So you can see people going to the store and actually getting things for the next meal, which is pretty surprising to me. Like, you get to live day-to-day, but you really don't have to pay for the next month. So what you have to do is you gotta hustle another day and then pay for your food for the next day. And it's really hard to get by, really hard to earn an advantage, especially when things are that slow. And let's say businesses normally open at 10 in the morning, they close by 6. Sundays, almost everything is closed also. So it really is surprising to me, about the speed that people are using to be able to live in here, which is totally fine, if you want to live a slower life. But if you're somebody that wants to get by, wants to grow, wants to take advantage of things out there, then living such a slow life could be something that has an impact on your growth. In regards to the people, honestly, everybody is really nice. Everybody's kind, they're open, they're pretty receptive, and even the language, being Papiamento, a language that has Dutch in it, apparently almost like 20%, and 80% of the language is actually Iberian, which would mean a mix of Spanish and also some Portuguese words. So just to give you an example, I'll share some Spanish words with Papiamento, some Portuguese with Papiamento, some Dutch with Papiamento, and you get to see it for yourself. The first one is como te va and conta vai. The second could be junto and jundu. Gente, in Dutch, for example, dankjewel, and they say dankie. Or maybe even book, and in Papiamento is buki. Or even Portuguese that, for example, would use the word galinha, which literally is like gallina in Spanish, and it stands for chicken or hen. It's pretty much chicken. And lastly, also the name of this place, which is Curaçao. And so one of the origins of this word is being said coração, which would be the Portuguese word for corazón or heart. And on the other side, they also say that it comes from Curaçao, which means cure, like cura, which is a cure, because apparently some people that were ill that remained here for a long time eventually got cured because of the vitamin C that they have around here. I don't know, it's just a theory. I'm not exactly sure if it's true or not, but that's apparently some of the origins of the word Curaçao. And maybe as expected or stipulated for some people, really Curaçao is almost like Netherlands 2.0. So at least we went out, we were having a couple of drinks with some friends, and I realized that pretty much maybe like 95% of the people that were in that bar were actually Dutch. On the other side, in terms of business and nomadism, here's the first lesson that I had. When we got to this Airbnb, the only thing I was worried about was Wi-Fi. Ironically, the first day that we got here, the Wi-Fi actually didn't work, which meant we had to walk out, we had to find a SIM card. And so we got a SIM card, we paid for 10 GB just so that we can use the hotspot and then actually work from home. But ironically, it really just brings me back to that point that I've always thought about, at least once I started seeing things differently in terms of travel is this is exactly why I slowed down, and I don't want to be moving as much, because every time you change environment means you have to reset and you have to readapt to the things surrounding you, and if you don't have control of those, then that's when your working efficiency goes down. One other thing that I thought about was really Curaçao is an expensive island, which I know could sound obvious because it's in the Caribbean or whatever. Like people say, all these islands are expensive because of the tourism. It is partly because of that, but it's also, it's just, I don't know, it's impressive to hear my friends from Netherlands say that this is more expensive. But you know, the take that I was getting from this is it was not really like, oh, it's so expensive, I don't want to come here, but more like I want to work and generate money to the point that expensive, the word expensive, becomes irrelevant. And that's probably something that I was shocked about also looking at how people live here, which is, you know, just day to day and just kind of like getting by with the minimum. Let's say, you know, opening from 10 to 6 and then just chilling, let's say, after that. And it really is just like maybe doing the minimum work in school or, you know, when you're a kid, but it doesn't really work as much in life, at least not if you want to get somewhere, you want to grow fast. Like that's probably why so many, you know, no disrespect, but that's why so many employees complain about working from Monday to Friday, but then instead of coming back home and actually working on something, building something, starting a business, they just say, oh, I'm so tired, I deserve to just rest and just chill and relax. And so they jump from having to work all day to not doing absolutely anything for the rest of the day, which means they're stuck in this kind of cycle. And that's a little bit of what I see in here, which is, you know, just working and then chilling for the rest of the time. I don't know if it's the weather, you know, it's just the fact that it's hot and you just feel like resting, or maybe it's just the mentality around here. In the contrary, I think I personally learned or even got some positive out of it in terms of the drive that I know that I'm leaving this place with. I feel, you know, coming to this island, obviously I wanted to work and everything, but I was able to see a couple of things, especially being surrounded by one of my friends here who's living here. You know, we can visit him, but then he's working, for example, with companies in the Netherlands, which means 9 a.m. at that time is 3 a.m. here. And so the only way that he can get by and actually get ahead of, let's say, his competition and stay in business is to actually wake up at 3 a.m. every morning. And for me, that was just surprising to see how he's dealing with it, you know, how he's managing to get up just to get the work done. And it really is amazing to me, because sometimes we travel and we say, we'll sleep late and maybe we'll wake up whatever time we wake up and no worries, we'll get the work done, and then we'll just walk out and check out the area a little bit and stuff. And he's truly like finding, I don't know where he finds his hours. He probably wants to find more hours in his day, but waking up at 3, you know, maybe done by 2, whatever, like getting so much work done instead of waking up at 7, 8, you know, taking a shower, starting work by 9. It really is just about the amazing speed and relentlessness that you know, he has in work. And so, and in addition to that, seeing this friend of ours use the money that he has to be able to buy 2 properties, buy 2 cars, you know, just move his money around the smart way to be able to come to a place where he knows he can take advantage of what this country has to offer. And it's so interesting to me that, you know, he's not even aware about all the things that are possible, but he's just a go-getter. He literally, you know, just sees the opportunity and then just takes it. And I was having a conversation with him about it, and he's like, well, it's interesting, like there's people that actually do what I'm doing that way. It's never really even heard about it. And so for me, really, you know, regardless of the leisure side, which is, yeah, we're coming here to spend a week. I came here personally to spend my birthday here, and so I'm thinking, okay, besides the fun part about it, I just get so much out of just seeing around and learning from the local people, learning from my friend. And I really just want to truly treat this place, this experience, you know, almost like a business mastermind or like an investment where, you know, I'm getting access to new lessons, to new resources, to new opportunities. And that's exactly why I share these things with you. And so this is pretty much, you know, some of the things that I've learned throughout the past week in this place, Curaçao. Is so similar to Netherlands in some ways, but also so different. Full of kind people, really nice and just exciting things. Obviously, beach could be similar to any other islands, but in regards to the culture, the language, Pampeamento, the people, the tax incentives that you can use if, let's say, you are not a Dutch citizen or a European citizen, you're going to be able to get a passport. You can also do that by getting a residency for a couple of years, and then from there you can transition into getting a passport. That means you need to have, let's say, an investment. And from what I understand in here, let's say, opening, let's say, a bank account as a foreigner is not as easy, but you can get around, let's say, if you open a company here, which will give you incentives. And so you would open a company, you would get then to open a bank account, you can, let's say, deposit. I think it's depending on the years. You could get 3 years, 5 years, or maybe indefinite residence. And then from there, as long as you spend some time in the country, then you can turn that into a citizenship 5 years after this. And so it's one of those countries where you can spend some time if you want the nice weather, you want to have the advantages of a Dutch passport, and also you want to have the incentives of the taxes, which means you don't have to pay the taxes as Netherlands, but you would instead pay the taxes as the Curaçao system, which is they have no corporate taxes. They have the personal income tax, but that is changed from 2020, which was worldwide income, to just territorial taxes, which means it's only the money that you make in Curaçao, not the money that you make outside of Curaçao. So anyway, these are some of the things that I've learned throughout my time here. Just wanted to document this, just wanted to share with you. Hopefully you find it relevant for your business, for your life, for your plan. And if you like content like this, just give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. I think the algorithm will appreciate it too. And also subscribe, because I will be posting more stuff like that, sharing my journey with you, and hopefully you can do it for yourself as well. Appreciate it, and see you on the next one. Bye.